Hello, I'm Phil Mullen, energy psychotherapist. In background, I'm also a clinical psychologist and a psychoanalyst. I have an interest in ADHD. A few years back, I wrote a book called The Disintegrating Self, Psychotherapy of Adult ADHD and Autistic Spectrum. But in this little video, I'd like to just talk a bit about how to make the most of ADHD, how to make the most of its beneficial features. Now, the problems of ADHD are these days well known, such as having a scrambled mind, difficulties in focusing, a racing mind, being impulsive, problems regulating emotion, sometimes being a bit egocentric, jumping to premature conclusions. All these are familiar features of ADHD. But what about the benefits? Well, the ADHD brain allows for an openness to many possibilities in a way that is not the case so much with more ordinary brains. There's a lack of inhibition from the frontal lobe, which of course can cause problems, but it can also allow new thoughts to emerge, new configurations. And then, when something is of particular interest to the ADHD brain, there's the capacity for hyperfocus. So the opposite of being unfocused, hyperfocus, becoming completely immersed in that issue, in understanding it, learning more about it, in resolving a problem. The capacity for hyperfocus is what can really bring about new possibilities, new solutions. So the ADHD brain, with a lessened focus by the frontal lobe, is in more of a state that is something like the quantum state of superposition, where there is no fixed thought or meaning, but a quantum wave state that is covering all possibilities without fixing on any particular outcome or any particular thought. Now, we might consider that there are two levels to brain function. There is the what we might call, in physics terms, the classical function, which is where it's following, if you like, more Newtonian laws and laws of electromagnetism, bioelectrical processes, and so forth, where information is transmitted purely at the neuronal level. Then there's the quantum level, where the waveform has not been collapsed. It's like the whole brain system is operating at this quantum level of superposition. There's no collapse into a specific thought or a specific perception or a specific meaning. Now, this can be very valuable if we can tolerate it, because it does allow these deeper quantum brain processes, analogous to a quantum computer, to take place. But it can be a source of great anxiety. And this can be a problem because people can feel pushed by anxiety to a premature collapse of this quantum wave state. If there's an intolerance of uncertainty, and so you can then get premature, false, or even delusional collapse of the quantum wave form, arriving at a premature and perhaps completely incorrect conclusion. But tolerating that quantum wave uncertainty can be very, very valuable. It can lead to creativity, allowing novel connections and solutions to occur, and deeper thought, because not arriving at premature conclusions that forestall further reflections, we can really get immersed much more deeply in an issue. So the brain can, particularly the ADHD brain, can function something like a quantum computer that can consider many possibilities concurrently in order to produce an optimum outcome. Now, for those who are professional psychotherapists, it can be very, very valuable to listen without forming conclusions. If anyone watching has a psychoanalytic background, it very much links to Bion's idea of listening without memory or desire. It's listening from a position of superposition. So what the person with ADHD can do is play to the quantum mind strength, the strengths of ADHD. It's persisted in our gene pool. It's evolved because it does have valuable characteristics. So the key thing is, do not try to force the brain to perform in a more classical manner when it wants to be more quantum. Now, instead, what you can do is give your quantum mind instructions. I mean this quite literally. You can say or think something like, I request and instruct my quantum mind to find a solution to this problem, blah, blah, whatever it is, or to accomplish this task by a particular time, date, whatever. And you may be surprised by how effective that can be, that your quantum mind will indeed accomplish what you ask it to do. Now, because I'm an energy psychotherapist, I want to just mention one or two little energy procedures that are often helpful for people with an ADHD brain. Because often the person's energy system, as well as their brain and mind, is a bit scrambled, a bit disorganized. And by the way, sometimes the sense of internal chaos leads some people to be particularly preoccupied with having a very neat and tidy external environment. Anyway, let's get back to some energy procedures that help to bring about coherence and organization in the body's subtle energy system and in the brain and in the mind. So the first very simple one is a modified form of what's called collarbone breathing. This is a simpler modification of Dr. Callahan's original collarbone breathing. It's very, very simple and easy. So you cross your hands like this and rest the fingertips on the knobbly ends of the collarbones, right about there on me. So you cross your hands, rest the fingertips there on those ends of the collarbones. They're quite close together. So you've got your hands crossed, you're getting a nice cross flow of energy, and the fingertips transmit energy, subtle energy. And they're on important acupoints, on the kidney meridian, the K27 points. Now we're just going to do a very simple breathing process. So just relax for a moment. And then when you're ready, breathe in all the way and hold. Then breathe out halfway and hold. Breathe out all the way and hold. Breathe in halfway and hold. Breathe normally. Then, with the hands still crossed, turn them into knuckles. Same breathing process. When you're ready, breathe in all the way and hold. Breathe out halfway. Breathe out all the way. Breathe in halfway. Breathe normally. That's it. For many people, that's very calming and very organizing. Brings coherence to mind and brain. Now, another one that's very helpful for some people with ADHD is the Craw method. There are lots of variants on this, but basically what we're doing here is getting the flow of energy and information across the body. We were doing that also with the collarbone breathing. So to do this, you can start by tapping each knee like this with the same hand. And then, after a few taps like that, cross the arms over and continue tapping each knee. And just keep doing that for a while. So you start with the same side tapping, same arm and knee, and then you cross over. And be sure to do the crossed over tapping for rather longer than the same side tapping. Okay, that's a Craw method. Here's another one, sometimes called Cook's Hookups, named after someone called Cook. So here you have your arms stretched out with the thumbs down. Put the right over the left and pull hands up and under like this. Resting your chin down. So with your ankles, put the left over the right. Now, we could have crossed the hands and the ankles the other way. Could have had left hand over right, but then we'd do the opposite with the ankles right over left. So whichever way you do it, you make sure that the hands and the ankles are crossed in opposite ways. And it can be quite relaxing and calming to sit like this. You can do it for a few minutes or as long as it feels comfortable. Again, it's calming and organizing, brings coherence to the system. Okay. Now, the last one I want to describe is sometimes called a Wayne Cook posture. It's also described by Donna Eden in her energy medicine programs. Now, I can't fully demonstrate this because of the positioning of the camera, so I'll just have to I'll do it and describe what I'm doing. So you put your right ankle over your left knee, right ankle over left knee, and then the same side, right hand goes under the sole of the foot, and the left hand goes on the ankle. Slightly awkward for me because I'm old, but still has a good effect. Now, then it's a breathing process. As we breathe in, we rock backwards. As we breathe out, we rock forwards. Do this 5 times. Two more. And then we swap the ankles over again. So now left ankle over right knee, left hand under the sole of the foot, and right hand on the ankle. The same breathing process. Okay, so that's 3 procedures. The collarbone breathing, the cross crawl, the Cook's hookups with the ankles, and the Wayne Cook posture with the ankles over the knees. They're all often very helpful for people with ADHD. Try doing any of them before you have something important to do, or if you feel a bit stuck or have difficulty getting going with a task, any of those will be very helpful. One final thing that's often very helpful, if you get into a brain state of just feeling stuck, just start tapping on this acupoint here, side of the hand. It's on the small intestine meridian. Just keep tapping there for half a minute or so. You'll find it all starts to flow and move. Okay, so those are just a few thoughts and suggestions on how to make the most of your ADHD. I hope that if you have ADHD or if you work with people with ADHD, you find it helpful. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.